status bad. I went from now we're live, according to this. It says stream primary. We are not receiving video data at fast enough rate. Your viewers may experience buffering.
So how are we getting here? What's the? I wonder what the latest here.
Let me try to preview it. Oh, okay. Previously working, and it's going around and around and around. Well, that's the public view is working. Well, now it's going. It still says stream status bad, but we're actually live. Let's just keep going now. Lineups and we're going.
This is the lineup.
Yep.
First
Yeah, those are the first
there.
names right there. So we got South Windsor and Cruiser. That's Dave, Dan,
Dan
playing center field. Second.
not feeling well.
Is he here?
Yeah.
He is.
Precinct 49.
Second, Trudeau.
Veteran.
No.
Who's he playing?
Second guy is playing left field.
Left field.
Riley Burke.
Riley Burke. Who's he playing?
He is going to be the first baseman.
His number.
Number 8.
Okay.
Got batting fourth. Becker. Becker. Bordeaux. He's going to be
His
playing.
first name is Becker?
Yeah. He's
Becker.
batting. He's number 7. He's playing third base. Then Aaron Penny. He's playing.
Say Penny?
Yeah, Penney. Penny.
Okay.
He's batting. He's number 12. He's playing second base.
So you guys set? 6:18. We're gonna take the field.
What's his
Ask
number?
them to
12?
come out. When they come out,
Next.
you don't need to introduce them.
Will
Let
Wolf.
the anthem go.
Okay.
Yep.
He's playing shortstop.
They're
He's
gonna
number
take the
9.
field. We're gonna tell everybody, please rise.
Okay. He's playing shortstop. And he's number what?
Rise.
9. Go ahead. Next.
Ryan.
Brian or Ryan?
Ryan.
Take it out. Get ready.
Deshefy. Deshefy.
Okay.
He's the catcher. Number 14.
Is that what they're doing now?
No,
Are you practicing?
he's practicing.
That's alright.
Zach Collins.
Being dexterous.
Batting 8th. He's going to be playing right field. He's number 3. Zach Collins.
Okay.
We have Will Bordeaux. He's batting 9th. He's the DH. He's number 11. The pitcher is number 5.
Hang on a second.
It's their second pitcher Saturday.
What's his name?
Blaze.
What's his name?
Blaze. B-L-A-I-S.
Anthony Ladouceur.
It's
Ladouceur. Ladouceur. Ladouceur.
Emphasize the law.
That's a tongue twister for you, Riles.
No, it ain't. My wife's French. Like to say.
Say it over
Like you
what?
said.
Like to say. Alright, so let me try to get this going. We get this headset. Test it out. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3.
Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3.
I'm all confused. You said now you've taken the field.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome from Rotary Field in South Windsor, Connecticut for this playdown game in pod playdown games between South Windsor and Norwich, and the winner of this game determines who has the right to play Waterford tomorrow, and they will have to play Waterford twice and beat them twice in order to go on to the Super Regionals, which begin this Saturday. I'm Steve Riley, and to my right is my friend and the guy who's going to give this game some color tonight, Jim Bartles. Jim, it looks like it's a beautiful, and it's a great, beautiful park, as you can see.
Yeah, first time here. It definitely jumps out to you. We've seen a couple great places the last couple days, Muzzy Field, Penders Field, and Stratford, and today we're here at Rotary. We're looking to see if this South Windsor team can get the win against Norwich, hosting Norwich. Hopefully we don't go 11 innings like yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday. What a great game down there we had. It's Stratford's Penders Field between Stratford and Danbury. Danbury moving on to play today against Cheshire. I believe that game's probably over by now, and we'll hopefully get you a score on that as things go forward. Well, for Norwich, they are the Zone 6. They came in with a 12-12 record, I believe. They beat Simsbury on past Saturday, 9-3, then lost to Waterford on Sunday by a score of 12-2. South Windsor comes in. They are from Zone 3 here in Connecticut American Legion Baseball. They lost to Waterford only 1-0 last Saturday. They beat Simsbury 10-4, and yesterday they were supposed to play, but it got rained out. There was only 2 games that took place yesterday in Connecticut, and that was the Stratford game down there at Penders Field because it was a turf field, and over at Washington at Shepbog High School's field. Well, Jim, the batting order for Norwich, they'll be the visitors.
Leading off for Norwich, we have Ryan King. He's number 1. He'll be playing center field. Batting second, Ryan Trudeau. He's playing left field, number 6. Batting third, Riley Burke. He's going to be at first base. Number 4, Brecker Bordeaux. He's going to be at third base. Batting fifth, Aaron Penny. He'll be at second base. He's number 12. Will Wolf is in the 6th spot, number 9. He's going to be the shortstop. Batting 7th, Ryan DeSheffy. He's number 14. He'll be behind the plate. Batting 8th, Zach Collins. He's in right field. He's number 3. And batting 9th, Will Bordeaux. He's the DH. He's number 11.
Well, on the mound today for South Windsor is the big, tall right-hander Brady Ward, and he's pitching to Ryan King now, and it's a 1-1 count. And the third pitch is a curveball in there for strike 2, so it's 1-2. Well, rounding out the rest of the defense for South Windsor, behind the plate, catching the balls and strikes here this evening, will be Jack Waterman. Down at third, Jay Fournier. Jake Pasqualini will be at short, and there's a foul ball again, so it's 2-2. Will Bonazelli will be the second baseman here, and at first base is Josh Hobbs. Rounding out the outfield and left is going to be Jake Main, covering a lot of ground in this big ballpark. In center field will be Dan Krusik, and out in right field will be Charlie King. What a beautiful facility this is, and what a gorgeous evening for baseball. 2-2 now to the left-handed hitting Ryan King. Curveball, and it's in there, strike 3.
Next up for Norwich, number 6.
Pretty curveball that time by Ward, and that's 1 up, 1 down here in the top of the first inning.
It's not going to get it done for Norwich. You got to put the ball in play. It can't be taken strike 3, Riles.
Yep. Stepping in from the right side now, Ryan Trudeau, the left fielder. And earlier this afternoon on one of our sister channels or brother channels, curveball in there. Well, they're saying it missed up high. It's 1-0 now to Trudeau. Don Boyle was on the call tonight. He'll be on there again as Hamden lost the first game to Washington. I think it was 8-3. Am I right, Jim? Or 8-5.
Yeah.
Yep.
Washington making a late comeback there. Started off with an inside the park home run.
Wow. It's tough to do in Hamden's Park. That's another turf field as the ball bounces around, I guess, off the turf. And 2-0 now to Ryan Trudeau here in the top of the first inning. There's a strike. 2-0 curveball that time by Ward.
Definitely a lot of room down the left and right field line, Riles.
Yes.
Foul balls, you're going to have to.
It's a very big ballpark as well, Jim. Is that 335 out there in left?
335 and
yep.
left.
Ground ball to third baseman. Fournier scoops it, fires it all the way to first for the second out.
Now up for Norwich.
Score that
number
one
8,
5-3
Riley
if you
Burke.
like to do that kind of thing in a scorebook. Dead center field here, or should I call it straight center field? 400 feet. Some ballparks actually have cemeteries and beyond the fence in center field. In right field is 340 feet down the right field line. What a big ballpark. This is beautiful. Number of trees out there. What a skyline. Good hitting background for the hitters. I could smell that snack shack below us already. Swing and a miss to the left-handed hitting Riley Burke. One of the best places to broadcast from, Jim, because you can always just walk right downstairs and get something to eat, you know.
Nice.
And there's a foul ball right straight back, so it's now he's dug himself a big hole, has Riley Burke, the first baseman. Yeah, a few years back is when they built the batting cage over to our right. They raised a lot of money to get that done. And they actually, I think there's 2 mounds in there, 2 cages.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
Yeah. There's another straight back foul ball. Probably rattled the cage of our GoPro camera. What an amazing thing that this technology can do these days.
Yeah, it looks pretty nice. We got our little scoreboard up.
We got the scoreboard up. I can see if I can work it. So I have no idea what I'm doing with regard to that stuff. Here's the pitch up high, so it's 1-2.
That was a good waist pitch.
Some of these names seem familiar to me. I remember I was up here doing the Junior American Legion Northeast Regional Tournament a bunch of years back, especially the shortstop Pasqualini. He's a veteran player out there. He's a good one. There's that one. They're calling it strike 3, and that'll do it. 3 up, 3 down here in the top of the first for Norwich, and South Windsor will be coming to bat.
As we recognize the service of America's men and women in uniform, let's also honor the families who sacrifice so much every day. As the service member serves, so does the family. Do you really want to honor a veteran? Look for ways to support their families and thank them for their sacrifices. Go to legion.org/honor-veterans to find out how you can help. Life in the military is one of service and sacrifice, and for some, that sacrifice is more than many of us can imagine. Please join with the American Legion in recognizing and supporting our wounded warriors and their families. Let's not allow them to be forgotten and left to fend for themselves. They deserve more. Sometimes just thank you isn't enough. Go.
All right, back here at Rotary Field in South Windsor, we're going to the bottom of the first, and for South Windsor, they will have coming up, Jim?
Batting first, Dan Kruzik. He's playing center field. We have batting second, Jake Main. He's in left. Hunter Pasqualoni. He's at shortstop. He's batting third. Batting fourth, Brady Ward. He's the pitcher. Batting fifth, Jay Fournier. He's the third baseman. Batting sixth, Charlie Keene. He's in right field. He's number 13. Number 4, batting
First up
seventh,
for South
Jack
Windsor, number
Waterman.
24, Dan
He's
Kruzik.
behind the plate. And we have batting 8th, Josh Hobbs. He's the first baseman. And 9th, Will Bonzelli.
Bonazelli, I believe, right?
He's at second base. He's number 11.
And on the mound now for Norwich is Anthony Ladouceur. And behind the dish is Ryan DeSheffy. Ryan Burke at first, Aaron Penny at second base, Will Wolf at short, Becker Bordeaux at third, Ryan Trudeau in left field, Ryan King in center, and out in right field is Zach Collins. Well, the first pitch to Dan Kruzik is a strike, so it's 0-1 to him. Well, we got a scoreboard out there today, Jim, you know, unlike yesterday.
Yeah, we could kind of dilly-dally a little bit. Well, we couldn't. Today, maybe we can. We don't have to pay attention as much.
Yeah.
No, we're always paying attention, Riles.
Well, the lights aren't on here yet, and they won't be for quite some time. And there's a curveball that misses way outside into the left-hander's batter's box, so it's 1-2. Well, the teams that are in the driver's seat, Waterford certainly has to be in the driver's seat. And there's a curveball, bounce down to the third baseman, Bordeaux. He has to hurry, and they don't get him. That'll be an infield single for Dan Kruzik.
Next up for South Windsor, number 23, Jake Main.
Well, that's what you want to do if you're South Windsor. Get leadoff guys on. Puts a lot of pressure on the defense.
Yeah, let's see if what kind of strategy they have now. As up comes Jake Main, the lefty. He's a righty, rather. He just went to pick up the bat. So see if they give him a bunt sign or something, or if what they do. You got to believe the leadoff guy is usually the speediest.
Center fielder, so
Yeah.
he's definitely got some speed.
Checking him over is Ladouceur. Checks the runner at first. Now he slide steps and deals. They do bunt up the first baseline. The pitcher will have to get it Ladouceur and throw it to first to Burke. And he successfully does his job, does Jake
12,
Main.
Hunter Pasqualini.
So with a runner on second base now, up comes the three-batter, Hunter Pasqualini. All wood bats here in the Connecticut American Legion Baseball, as well as the tournament.
Can have a composite.
Yeah, you can have one of those composite bats. Got a controversy here a few years back where somebody used a composite when they were not allowed. And there's a ground ball to second base. And Penny will get it and throw it over to Burke for the second out. But the runner, Kruzik, is now 90 feet away from scoring.
Next up, number 22, Brady.
I remember the
Ford.
incident, Jim, very well, is where they were really complaining about the composite bat. And the player's mother then said, "Well, what's wrong with it? He's been using it all year." So, and it ended up being an out. And they ejected the player. And there's a pitch high up to Brady Ward, the pitcher, batting in the cleanup spot for South Windsor. 7 innings they play in the tournament here in Connecticut. Same when they get to the Super Regionals. There's a ground ball to Fournier, or Bordeaux rather. Long throw to first, he makes it. Oh, he drops it. He drops it. So South Windsor is ahead 1-0. So score that one an E3.
Now up, number 1, Jay Fournier.
And South Windsor has taken the lead.
Yeah, Burke looked really upset there, Riles. He whipped that ball back at the pitcher, and the pitcher actually dropped it after he threw it to him.
Yeah, nice play that time for Bordeaux at third. He did his job, but
he did.
ball was just dropped at first, and now a huge lead at first base for Ward. And he goes, and here's the throw to second. It's not going to be in time as it goes off into center field. Backing it up well is Ryan King, so the runner will have to stay where he is. So stolen base that time for Brady Ward. So with 2 outs, South Windsor puts the ball in play, and they end up with their first run of the evening to take this 1-0 lead. Stepping up now is Jay Fournier, the third baseman for South Windsor. A little bit of an open stance. Coming set now is the pitcher, Ladouceur, swing and a miss. So it's 0-1. Well, these teams are really stretching their pitchers in this tournament.
Yeah, whoever they're going to have to play Waterford tomorrow.
Right. The winner has to play Waterford and beat them twice. And there's a strike. Waterford's been sitting back waiting. They were I guess you call them the champions of the winners bracket, sort of, in their pod. And then we will have 8 pod winners ultimately play in the Super Regionals beginning this Saturday at 2 locations. We'll have all those games broadcast here on SportingNewsCT.com. And here's the 1-2 pitch, and there's a ground ball to Bordeaux. I'm sorry. Yep, Bordeaux, he's correct. Long throw. They get him. So score that one a 5-3. So for South Windsor, here in the bottom of the first inning at Rotary Field, they come up with 1 run on 1 hit. It was an infield hit. There was an error, and they leave 1 runner on base. We'll be back with the top of the second inning. Norwich now trailing by the score of 1-0. All right.
As we recognize the service of America's men and women in uniform, let's also honor the families who sacrifice so much every day. As the service member serves, so does the family. Do you really want to honor a veteran? Look for ways to support their families and thank them for their sacrifices. Go to legion.org/honor veterans to find out how you can help. The American Legion honors our newest generation of warriors and veterans. Please join us in supporting and recognizing their unique contributions and needs. Go to legion.org/honor veterans to find out more.
Today.
Well, back here at South Windsor's Rotary Field, South Windsor on the benefit of an error is taking the lead 1-0. Let me see if I can get that scoreboard going now.
Yeah, you just click +1.
+1 there. So South Windsor 1-0 here, and we have to change the inning, right?
Yep. Right
So
down there on the bottom.
First
right
up for Norwich, number 7, Becker Bordeaux.
Right there. The top one where it says 1.
Oh, I get you, field number 1. I'll figure this stuff out sooner or later, Jim. Okay, second inning, South Windsor ahead, 1-0. Batting now is the cleanup hitter, Becker Bordeaux. For Norwich, who must have had some kind of ride to get here, I would suppose. Curveball in there for strike 1 from Ward.
Yeah, Ward commanding that curveball, getting ahead in counts right now.
Yep, well, the driver's seat teams that have to be defeated twice tomorrow, or actually today, some of them will be tomorrow, as it's picked up foul down the left field line. The teams that are in the driver's seat that have to be beaten twice tomorrow will be Waterford, obviously here. I mean, they'll be playing in this the Pod A winner, which is these two teams right here in front of us. West Hartford sits back till tomorrow. Southington, Bristol, and Pod D, Cheshire, Pod E. Although they're playing right now, I believe, against Danbury. They played today. There's a cut on a miss for strike 3 as Bordeaux goes down,
Next up,
swinging
number 12, Aaron
for the
Penny.
first out of the inning.
Hamden's up 4-1.
Hamden, we just got a score, is up 4-1 down there at Hamden High School in the second of 2 games as Washington came back to win the first game 8-5. Stanford also is waiting for tomorrow, as is Naugatuck, who will play tomorrow at 3:30. There's a chopper down the third baseline, foul by the right-handed hitting Aaron Penny, the second baseman for Norwich. Yeah, we may do that game tomorrow. I may do the games tomorrow from Naugatuck High School. We may have those. I don't know where the Wizard Don Boyle will be tomorrow. To contact him after his Hamden game is over. There's a ground ball in front of the plate. The catcher can't spot it because it was on the line. Now they're saying it's a fair ball. So talk about something really strange.
You don't see that every day, Riles, now. If I'm the catcher, you need the pitcher just to be yelling and communicating to you right in front of you, because he has a better view at that catcher. That ball could have went anywhere. He doesn't really know.
Well, the white baseball was on top of the white line batter's box, and it got disguised.
I think that was a good call, though.
Yeah, it was right there on that line, so it's a fair ball, and that brings up Will Wolf now as Norwich gets their first base hit, even though it was just right on the line. There's a pop-up and foul ground. Chasing it is Fournier, and he makes the one-handed catch, so there's 2 outs now.
Yeah, baseball's a game of inches.
Yeah, that would be.
Right there.
Yeah, that's right on top of the white line, and the catcher just couldn't
Next up,
find the
number
baseball.
14, Ryan Defsheet.
It was like a chameleon, I guess. It just turned the white ball against the white line, and he couldn't see it. It brings up Ryan DeSheffy, the catcher from Norwich. And coming set is Ward, and he deals the first pitch curveball in there for a strike. We'll see our old friend Dave Bindus out there doing the bases out there. He was the home plate umpire when we were down in Bristol. And there's the 0-1 delivery. See if the runner goes. Nope, they throw it over to first. Getting back on a step and a dive is Penny. Penny had a lot of sense there
Yeah.
as he dove back. That was a bad pun, Jim, I know, but swing and a miss.
We had to get one Penny joke in.
We had to get one of them in there, yeah. 2 strikes now. And let's see if they protect the hitter by running. With the 0-2 count, Ward kicks high, deals another curve. This one's chopped towards Pasqualini. It's short. He'll have only 1 play at first. On the run, he makes the throw and makes the play. Great play that time by Jake Pasqualini. Well, for Norwich here in the top of the second inning, they come with no runs. There was a hit, an infield hit, a strange one, and 1 runner left on base. We'll be right back with the bottom of the second inning. The score, South Windsor 1 and Norwich 0.
I never realized how much the American Legion did in our community until I was overseas and my family needed help. The Legion was there, taking care of things I couldn't, and they asked nothing in return. I guess it's because they know what I'm going through. They've been here before, and when I looked into it, I discovered that there was a way for me to continue to serve my fellow veterans and my community through the American Legion. That's why I joined.
The American Legion, we're a powerful force for the nation. We're patriots through and through. We believe in our flag and all that it stands for. Our Constitution, our Pledge of Allegiance, our way of life are all fundamental to maintaining our freedom and the standing that we have as the greatest country on earth. We promote and defend these values every day in communities across the nation. Go to legion.org to find out more about the American Legion's commitment of service to America.
America, meet Greg Anderson. Served 2 tours in Afghanistan, Bronze Star and Purple Heart recipient, and unemployed. The unemployment rate among transitioning service members is unacceptably high, much higher than the general population. Veterans are a proven commodity. They're mature, reliable, and hardworking, and they deserve a chance to get back to work after serving their country. Do you really want to honor a veteran? Hire one. Go to legion.org/honor veterans to find out how you can help.
I never realized.
Well, back here at South Windsor's Rotary Field. First pitch to Charlie King was a swing and a miss. There's another curveball. Ball 1, so the count is even. And number 13, Charlie King, the right fielder from South Windsor. And there's a pop-up in the infield. And sky ball yelled for by the second baseman. He makes the two-handed grab. That's Aaron
Next
Penny.
up, number 4, Jack Waterman.
Brings up Jack Waterman, the catcher. Let's see if I can squeeze in that South Windsor name in there. Now they have Stratford up there for some reason. Pop back up on there again.
Wow, that's weird.
Yeah. So the visitor, I'll have to put that one in again. Curveball outside, ball 1. For some reason it changed on us. Let me go around with this thing.
Oh, you know what, Riles?
Then
It's
it
'cause
says
you're on the
Danbury.
wrong. You're on the right one. So if you click back to that one, click back to that one. Now there.
Oh, there it goes. Yep. Okay. Yep, I told you I'm
Here,
technically
try scrolling
inefficient on this game.
and change that South Windsor to the S Windsor.
2-0 now to Jack Waterman.
Here, I can help with the play-by-play, Riles.
Yeah, go ahead.
Dead ball. Got number 4 just got hit by fastball.
Next up, number 16, Josh Hobbs.
So Charlie Keene, he'll be at first base. Or actually, no, that's Jack Waterman. Charlie Keene popped up to second base.
Okay. Well, that's actually now Josh Hobbs comes into the batter's box now. Right, Hobbs batting 8th in the order for South Windsor with the runner on first, being Waterman, who's hit by the pitch. And here's the fastball. It's hit foul down the left field line. 1 out here in the bottom of the second inning. South Windsor with a 1-0 slim lead over Norwich in this playdown game. Each of these teams lost to Waterford, I believe. Yep. South Windsor only lost by the slim score of 1-0. And Norwich got clobbered, as you would say, 12-2. And there's a ball outside, so it's 1-2 to big, tall first baseman from South Windsor, Josh Hobbs. No, I don't know if he's related to Roy, but the runner goes.
That was a great jump. That's not even gonna be
They're
close.
saying that's strike 3. So the runner steals. So Josh Hobbs did not have Wonder Boy in his hand to smack one out of here. And Will Bonazelli steps up to the plate now. The South Windsor second baseman. Ladashur comes set. slide steps, and he shows bunt and pulls back, so it's 1-0 now to Will Bonazelli.
Now up, number 11, Will Bonazelli.
And there's a strike. There's the 1-1 pitch now to Bonazelli with that open stance, and that's a strike 2 on the outside part of the plate. Right fielder out there, Zach Collins, a little bit shallow. You can see the sun is off to our left as the shadows go to the right across the field. Beautiful evening here at South Windsor's Rotary Field. There's a swing and a miss, strike 3. That'll do it. That's the second strikeout in a row and the second of the game for Anthony Ladasieur. So, no runs, no hits, no errors, 1 runner left on base for South Windsor. That's their second left on base in the game. We'll be right back with more American Legion baseball action here on Sporting News CT after these important messages.
The American Legion, we're a powerful force for the nation. We're patriots through and through. We believe in our flag and all that it stands for. Our Constitution, our Pledge of Allegiance, our way of life are all fundamental to maintaining our freedom and the standing that we have as the greatest country on earth. We promote and defend these values every day in communities across the nation. Go to legion.org to find out more about the American Legion's commitment of service to America.
The American Legion honors our newest generation of warriors and veterans. Please join us in supporting and recognizing their unique contributions and needs. Go to legion.org/honor veterans to find out more. Life in the military is one of service and sacrifice. And for some, that sacrifice is more than many of us can imagine. Please join with the American Legion in recognizing and supporting our wounded warriors and their families. Let's not allow them to be forgotten.
Well, back here at South Windsor's Rotary Field. Sorry for that technical glitch there. Cutting off the all-important commercials from American Legion
First up
websites.
for Norwich, number 3, Zach.
And leading it off here in the top of the third inning for Norwich will be Zach Collins, the right fielder, batting in the 8th spot. You know, such a great program, American Legion Baseball, Jim. I mean, all across America, players are playing right now to determine who gets to go to Shelby, North Carolina, and that all-important American Legion World Series, which every year is that ball's fouled, sliced on the right field line.
Yeah, Riles, you got to give hats off to Craig Zimmerman. He's the South Windsor head coach, and Tom Petrzik. One of these teams is going to go and compete and try to beat Waterford twice to go to the regionals.
Craig Zimmerman, the former state baseball commander, or director, I should say. Keep getting that wrong between commander and director in American Legion. And there's strike 2 now to Zach Collins. Right now, the current state director, a good friend, Dave Greenleaf, does yeoman's work down there at Bristol. And here's the pitch is up high for ball 1. Craig was the coach of the Junior Legion when they won the Northeast Regional Championship one year. Yep, it was a great run they had right here at Rotary Field. They hosted the event. And here's the pitch, curveball. That's chopped slowly to the shortstop. Pasqualini will have to hurry, and he makes a great play.
Next up,
His second assist of the game. Nice play by Jake Pasqualini. Brings up Will Bordeaux, the designated hitter for Norwich. You know, it's all about the ability to save pitching in these tournaments. 105, and you have to come out of the game. And 30, and you can't pitch the next day. There's strike 1 call to Will Bordeaux.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing yesterday, Riles. That kid Higgins pitched 9 innings.
Yeah.
Under the 105.
Yep. I think it was Dylan Higgins, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, pitched his 105, took him into the 9th inning, which is unusual. That means you really got to be efficient with your pitches.
Yeah, he went home upset yesterday after losing 1-0 in the bottom of or top of the 11th. This one jumped out to a quick start, though. Let's see if Norwich has anything to put the pressure on. They're going to have to get base runners on.
Yep. It's 1-2 now to Bordeaux. Well, it's better than the other game we saw, the frustrating game for, see, who played. It was Bristol that won on a walk-off walk.
That was East Hartford.
East Hartford, Manchester. There's a foul down the left field line. I always hope in these kinds of tournaments that if it doesn't come down to one player, you know, like an error or something that happens, and he's got to live with that. There's a ground ball towards short. Pasqualini, he'll have to hurry again. Scoops it one-handed, fires on the run, makes a great play again.
Well, see, that's the thing with baseball, Riles. It's not like football where if you're a
Next
lineman
up, number 5,
and you miss your
Anthony
block,
Laducci.
Yeah.
you know, you don't really point out and go, oh, the left guard, he missed his block that play. Baseball, you're out there all by yourself. If the right fielder drops that ball, everyone in the ballpark knows.
Yeah, even a 3-year-old can tell you, Mom, he right fielder did something wrong. He dropped it. You know, it's that kind of game where your ego's on the line. And there's a curveball strike to the left-handed hitting Ryan King, who's up to the second time.
Yeah, if you're Norwich's batters now, second time around, you got to know that Ward here, he's throwing curveballs first pitches. You got to be ready for that.
Yep. There's a ground ball up the middle that could get through. It will get through by Pasqualini as the left-handed hitting Ryan King gets a 2-out single, the second of the game for Norwich. It's going to bring up Ryan Trudeau.
That was Ryan King.
Oh, that was Ryan King, yeah.
Trudeau.
Yep, Ryan Trudeau, who grounded out to third his first time up, steps in. I mean, this facility up here is so great. They even have the roll-away batting cage that they bring in.
You got to think with 2 outs here,
You know.
King's going to be aggressive at first. They're already looking over.
Whoa, you got to be careful coming back. You don't want to lose your balance running back to first base only to be tagged out.
You got to think he's a center fielder as well. He's got some speed.
Yeah, you would think, though. Why not? 2 outs. Sort of leaning back to first in a way. I like to see base runners, Jim, get more leverage by pulling their knees in tighter. You know, they should be inside your ankles.
Yeah, so you could go either
So you can have leverage either way and push off.
instead of leaning back.
See,
like
leaning
he
back
is.
one way, yeah. Which causes you to take an extra step. And he's going before the runner goes. He steps off, throws it to the shortstop. That could have been an interesting call there as they just dropped the ball on the throw. So that looks like it'd be an error on the first baseman on the throw, right? He just dropped it.
Yeah,
right?
that hit him in the glove.
Yeah. So that would be an error on the first baseman. It allowed the runner, who was in a pickle. You know, the interesting part is when the pitcher turns, he didn't really throw to a base, but he doesn't have
threw it
to.
the shortstop.
Yeah, he doesn't have to once he's off the rubber. So he doesn't have to throw to a base. So he.
See now there, if you're the pitcher, he just threw that. You got to see where the runner is. You need to almost run right
Yeah.
at him, right?
Yeah.
Make him make up his mind. You could have caught him halfway.
Time is called now. Trudeau now at a 1-0 count on him.
You know,
He's got a chance to tie the game up.
Worst case scenario in a rundown, you want him going back to the bag that he came from, not advancing.
Yeah, I know. Yep, absolutely. Here's the 1-0, curveball low. So now Ward has first base open with Trudeau.
Yeah, 2-0 here, Ryan Trudeau. You got to be aggressive. Batters count.
Yep. Take your pick or be a little selective and try to drive the ball into a gap. Fastball low. So it's 3-0. And here comes the automatic strike, as Don Boyle will say. Thinks we ought to do away with it. It's called an automatic strike.
Well, you never know, Riles. It could be a wild pitch, and then your guys advance. You know, you don't want to just give them.
And there's a strike. Here's the 3-1 now as Ward looks into his battery mate, Jack Waterman, for the sign. Kicks and deals. Curveball in there for strike 2. So Ward is not afraid to throw breaking balls behind in the count.
Yeah, it definitely has command on that curveball.
Yeah.
When you go from 3-0 now to a full count as a batter, you're starting to get nervous now.
Well, now you got to hit anything close. Here's the 3-2 curve again. This one's lofted into the left center gap. It could be extra bases. The one run will score, rounding first, but changing his mind is Ryan Trudeau. Gets an RBI single to tie this game up at 1.
Now batting number 8, Riley Burke.
Third hit of the game. That one was blasted out there. I tell you, if that's an aluminum bat, that thing goes really out there in gap.
Yeah, you might have hit the
Yeah.
Cassidy Financial Services sign if you had a aluminum BB.
Instead, it's only a single. But in any event, it ties the game up at 1.
Wow, Ward even pitching before the center fielder got set. That ball's high.
1-0 now to the left-handed hitting Riley Burke.
We might have to change the inning to 3-2.
Yeah, I have to try to do this stuff, I tell you. There's a strike, so it's now
I know, too
even.
bad that computer wasn't over here.
1 ball, 1 strike now to the left-handed hitting Burke. The score is now tied 1-1. There's a curved ball down low, so it's 2-1.
Yeah, 2 outs here. Ward looks in.
Yeah, Ward checks the runner at first. And the pitch. Up high for a ball. It's 3-1. So Riley Burke, who struck out looking his first time up, is trying to get a good pitch to hit now. Big hole there between first and second base. Although Bonazelli, the second baseman, is playing him to pull. And there's the slice foul on the left field line. As you said, Jim, a lot of foul ground here in South Windsor.
Yeah, definitely if you're going to be backing up throws, if
Yeah,
you're
you have to.
outfielders, you have to be doing stuff like that.
Yep.
A little chaos backup.
Yeah. It's all even at ones here from Rotary Field in South Windsor, Connecticut in this playdown game between Norwich and South Windsor as time is called. And they give it to the batter who requested it. Count is full. The runner will be going on the pitch with 2 outs. As Riley Burke steps back in, as now the first baseman plays behind him, the runner at first. And the runner goes. There's a line drive in the center field, but it looks like the center fielder, Dan Krusik, is right there to catch it. So game could be unforgiving. You can hit it hard, but right at somebody. Well, for Norwich in the top of the third, they get 1 run on 2 hits. There was one error, and they left 1 runner on base, their second of the night. We'll be back with the bottom of the third inning now. They're all tied up between Norwich and South Windsor at 1.
I never realized how much the American Legion did in our community until I was overseas and my family needed help. The Legion was there, taking care of things I couldn't, and they asked nothing in return. I guess it's because they know what I'm going through. They've been here before, and when I looked into it, I discovered that there was a way for me to continue to serve my fellow veterans and my community through the American Legion. That's why I joined.
The American Legion. We're a powerful force for the nation. We're patriots through and through. We believe in our flag and all that it stands for. Our Constitution, our Pledge of Allegiance, our way of life are all fundamental to maintaining our freedom and the standing that we have as the greatest country on earth. We promote and defend these values every day in communities across the nation. Go to legion.org to find out more about the American Legion's commitment of service to America.
Back here at Rotary Field in South Windsor, we're moving on to the bottom of the third inning, and we're all tied up at 1 now. An RBI single by Ryan Trudeau from Norwich. Gets his team back in it. Leading it off here in the bottom of the third will be Becker Bordeaux. He'll be followed by Aaron Penny and Will Wolf. Well, any score down there in Hamden, Jim? Or
I can check.
with Don Boyle, the Wizard, down there at Hamden High School in that second of the 2 games today between Hamden and Washington. Washington winning the first game to force the if game between them and Hamden to determine who goes to the Super Regional, which starts this Saturday 27th at 2 locations, Seppa Field in Meriden and right here at South Windsor, Connecticut. Here's Becker
First up
Bordeaux,
for South
starts to
Windsor,
walk
number
up to the plate
24,
now.
Dan Kruzik.
Kruzik. Oh, that's right. I'm looking at the wrong side. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's
Flip
still
the book
4
over. Russ.
4-1 over there in the Pod F game between Washington and Hamden.
You'll be top of the order for South Windsor, rather. Sorry about that. I had Norwich up for some reason. Look at the next page. And Kruzik's first gets the first pitch up high for a ball from Andy Ladacieuse. Given up only 1 hit, struck out 2, hit 1 so far this evening. There's a fastball on low. Whoever wins this game will have to travel down, I believe, to Waterford High School for that.
It's a double elimination game.
Well, it's actually, yeah, they have to beat them twice, right? So they only, Waterford can only play 1. If they win the first one, they'll move into the Super Regional. 2 balls, 1 strike now to Kruzik, who scored a run. Got a base hit his first time up as that one's fouled away. So it's now 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, Riles, you're not even going to believe. I just got a text from Carissa Wazakowski saying
yes.
my mic is not close enough to my face and I'm not loud enough. So,
well, that's good. Well, that's always nice to have constructive criticism. Carissa was an all-state player for Seymour High School softball.
Yep.
Great kid. Young lady, I should say now, right?
Yeah.
Graduate of Southern. There's a foul, and found a foul line in right side.
Oof.
That one's bounces, running a long way. Looked like has that time as Burke had to run about 30 yards just to get to that spot as it's fouled. So it's still 2 balls and 2 strikes now. Well, you got your own fan club, Jim. What can I say?
Yeah, Riles, you know. But you actually wrote The Lord of the Infield Flies.
Yeah.
Her father.
Her father was in that. Yep. There's a line drive to right center. That's going to drop in 1 bounce to the right fielder. So
Next up, number 23,
Kruzik's got himself a
Jake
base hit.
Main.
Oh, he overthrew the cutoff man. Cut off by the first baseman. Riles is very bashful, though. He's got 2 great baseball books that he doesn't like to talk about on the air, but he's very great novels about some derby baseball stories back in the day.
Yes. It's the titles that are catchy, Jim. See this?
Yeah.
You got to get deep both.
It's not over till the Fat Lady Sings and the Lord of the Infield
Actually,
Flies.
it's the Fat Lady Never Sings.
The Fat Lady Never Sings.
There's a foul ball off the batter, off the catcher's mask. So it's Jake Main up now. He sack bunted his first time up. See if he does it again, but he didn't show bunt that time.
That's huge for South Windsor, though, getting their leadoff guy on right there, Riles.
Yeah, it is. And it's the second.
Yeah, he's 2 for 2.
Yep. There goes the runner, and there's a bloop down the right field line. That could be trouble. And it's going to be down the baseline, and the runner will get to third, and they're going to send him home. Here comes the throw, and it's offline towards third, and South Windsor scores from first base.
Yeah, Zach Collins out there for Norwich, misplaying that, bobbles off of
Next
him,
up,
and then
number
it
12,
allows
Winter Pasqualini.
Kruzik to go all the way from first to home on a hit and run.
Yep. And just like that, South Windsor takes the lead, and now they threaten with a runner on second. Yeah, that was kind of unusual. You would think the cutoff would have been towards the first baseman because the runner was going on the pitch. And when the throw came all the way as if it was going to third, the runner rounding third had an easy time of it. But good call that time by the third base coach. Fly ball to left center. And let's see who calls it. And the center fielder, Ryan King, gets it and makes the catch. So there's 1 out.
Yeah, you know, if
Next
you're
up,
Norwich,
number
you've
22, Brady
chipped
Ward.
away at the lead and you tied it up, and then giving away that on that error and hit and run, you know, takes a little wind out of it. You kind of wanted to go out there and put up a 0.
I'm sure he did.
Yeah, but number 22, Brady Ward, the pitcher, he'll step into the plate right now.
Yep, Ward got on his first time up on an error by the first baseman, and he takes strike 1. There's the ball in the dirt, so it's 1-1 now to Brady Ward. Got on, stole a base, but was stranded at second back in the first inning. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Fastball, and it's into the left center gap. That one's going to drop. Could be extra bases. Rounding and coming home easily to score is Jake Main, and in for a stand-up double is Brady Ward.
Next
And
up for
South Windsor now is
number
taking a
1,
3-1 lead.
Yeah, Jake Main almost hesitated. He looked like he was taking off for third, turned over his right shoulder and saw that ball was in the gap, and there was no hesitation after that.
Yeah.
He bolted to home.
There's a lot of field out there, and now we have a conference on the mound by the coach of Norwich, and Anthony Ladessier will stay in the game. So 3 hits in the inning by South Windsor. And they've got 4 for the game so far. They lead it 3-1. Jay Fournier takes his first pitch, fakes a bunt. It's low. 1 out. Bottom of the 3rd inning, 3-1 in favor of South Windsor. The winner to play Waterford tomorrow. And better have pitchers, whoever wins this game. Popped up in foul ground on the third base side. Bordeaux chasing it, and he makes a 2-handed grab.
Now up for South Windsor.
Going to bring up
number
Charlie
13,
Keene. The
Charlie
right fielder
Keene.
popped to second his first time up. You know, you always got to try to capitalize on your opportunities, and you got a runner in scoring position. You want to drive him in.
Yep, you need something in a gap or down and hard. Put the pressure on Norwich.
Lavdussier looks at the runner at second and deals in there for strike 1.
Definitely do not put pressure on the defense by popping the
Popping
ball
it up.
up
Oh, yeah.
or Kang.
I can remember when you were playing high school ball, Jim, and you heard the chant from our coach. There's a fly ball to left field. That one's way up there, but circling around it and getting under it now is Trudeau out in left field, and Ryan Trudeau hauls it in to end the damage. Well, for South Windsor here in the bottom of the 3rd, they come up with 2 runs on 3 hits. There were no errors. They left 1 runner on base. That's 3 for the game. We're through 3 full innings now here from Rotary Field in South Windsor, Connecticut, with the score: South Windsor 3 and Norwich 1.
As we recognize the service of America's men and women in uniform, let's also honor the families who sacrifice so much every day. As the service member serves, so does the family. Do you really want to honor a veteran? Look for ways to support their families and thank them for their sacrifices. Go to legion.org/honor veterans to find out how you can help. Life in the military is one of service and sacrifice, and for some, that sacrifice is more than many of us can imagine. Please join with the American Legion in recognizing and supporting our wounded warriors and their families. Let's not allow them to be forgotten and left to fend for themselves. They deserve more. Sometimes just thank you isn't enough. Go to legion.org/honor veterans to find out how you can help.
Well, back here at Rotary Field in South Windsor. Beautiful South Windsor this evening, Jim. What a night for baseball, huh? It's almost all blue sky up there now.
Yeah, Riles, this is definitely a lot better than this past weekend when we were in the 90s, high humidity. This is great baseball weather. These guys got to be enjoying this.
And yesterday we barely got out of there at Stratford after the 11-inning game that was. It just started to rain
Now
right
up
as
for
the game
Norwich,
ended.
number
Yeah, we
7,
got lucky.
Becker,
It held off for us.
If not for that game ending in the 11th, we would have had to have ended it 11th anyway. Leading off here for Norwich in the top of the 4th inning will be Becker Bordeaux. Struck out his first time up. There's a strike to Bordeaux.
Curveball for a strike.
Yep.
Swing and the miss.
And here in the top of the 4th inning, So it's 0-2 now to Becker Bordeaux. There's a pop-up in the infield, and the pitcher calls for it. And Brian Ward drops it right off the heel of his glove. And
see, now, if I'm a coach, Riles, you really want
you
your
are a coach, Jim.
If I'm coaching my team, I want my first baseman calling off the pitcher. You know, you have to have that chain of command. You know, the pitcher calls it over the catcher. The infield calls it over the pitcher and the catcher. The outfielders call it over the infielders. You know,
well, let's see if that hurts him now at 0-2 still. Curveball. This one's a high fly ball fouled on the left field line. That's got Ward thinking, uh-oh. He just rocked one out there, and I just dropped the pop-up.
You do not want to give the number 4 batter for Norwich
a new life, so to speak. Well, he wiggles that wooden bat over the back of his head, and here's Ward's 0-2 delivery again. Fastball, cut on and missed for the second strikeout of Bordeaux here today, and the 4th strikeout by Brady Ward.
Now up, number 12, Aaron
See,
Penny.
Ward really just wanted the K on that one. He didn't want the
He didn't want the pop-up
P1.
catch, yes. He gets an extra chance at a strikeout. Aaron Penny steps in. He's the one who got that base hit where the ball just lied right on the white line, and the catcher couldn't see it. There's the strike 1 from a curve.
Man, Penny really has that bat above his head, Riles.
Yeah.
You got to think that launch angle coming up from over your head. Now you're dropping your hands down.
And there's a chopper that's hacked down to Pasqualini. He just collects himself with the ball near his chest and fires it to first for the second out. That's the 4th assist of the game for shortstop Jake Pasqualini.
Will Wolf.
Brings up Will Wolf, who popped up into foul ground his first time up. As South Windsor leads this game by a score of 3-1. There's the ball. A little bit it's much better now that we have the scoreboard up there, Jim, so we don't have to, like the old days, they had an egg timer that they used to put there and flip it every 30 seconds. You had to remind yourself to make sure you told the score. There's a line drive out into the gap in left center, but right there to make the diving catch is the left fielder, Jake Main, who makes a good one. So that's going to be scored as an L7, and that'll do it here in the top of the 4th inning as the players are high-fiving him as he comes in to the dugout on the South Windsor third base side. So for Norwich here in the top of the 4th inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. We'll be back with more American Legion baseball action here on Sporting News CT after these important messages.
America, meet Greg Anderson. Served 2 tours in Afghanistan, Bronze Star and Purple Heart recipient, and unemployed. The unemployment rate among transitioning service members is unacceptably high, much higher than the general population. Veterans are a proven commodity. They're mature, reliable, and hardworking, and they deserve a chance to get back to work after serving their country. Do you really want to honor a veteran? Hire one. Go to legion.org/honor veterans to find out how you can help.
The American Legion honors our newest generation of warriors and veterans. Please join us in supporting and recognizing their unique contributions and needs. Go to legion.org/honor veterans to find out more.
Well, back here at South Windsor's Rotary Field, we're moving to the bottom of the 4th. We're halfway through, Jim, and so far today it's been, other than Norwich's single run in the 3rd, South Windsor has been the one who's gotten the hits and put on the pressure, and they lead it by the score of 3-1.
Yeah, Riles, you know, South Windsor has been really aggressive. A couple hit and runs and a couple mistakes by Norwich in the field left them up 3-1.
Yeah, well, South Windsor, that's Craig Zimmerman's team. He usually likes to run, and that was the style he had when he was a junior Legion coach, and he carried it through.
First up for South Windsor, number 4.
Yeah, we have a final score from Washington versus Hamden. Hamden defeated Washington 4-1.
Okay, so that means Hamden will move on to the Super Regionals starting Saturday. So they're one of the 8 teams, the first of the 8 teams to be crowned, so to speak, to win their pod. First pitch now to Waterman looks like it was fouled off, right? So it's 0-1. And the 0-1 is popped up, and let's see, it's heading towards us, towards the snack shack, and it bounces off the fence in front of us. So it'll be 0-2. It was the catcher that time. The Chevy tried to get it. He couldn't get it. It's the fence. Stopped him from doing it. As Jim said before, head coach for Norwich is Tom Petrzik, or Petrzik, it might be pronounced. Mike Esposito is his assistant with Josh Gernak and Chance Gendron. And there's a curveball low, so it's 1-2. Craig Zimmerman is assisted by Dan Resende, Mark Senia, Dan Bettigoli, and Tom Sand. And there's strike 3.
Now up, number
Jack
16,
Waterman.
Josh Hobbs.
So 1 up, 1 down here in the 4th for South Windsor. That's the 3rd strikeout of the game for Anthony Ladouceur.
Hobbs 0 for 1 on the day. He K'd his first at bat. Looking to get a hit here.
Curveball is outside, ball 1. Well, let's see where Hamden fits into this schedule. Are they in the south or are they in the north?
I think they're in the south. You just missed it, I think.
Yeah, let me see. There's the ball outside, so it's 2-0. Oh, there it is, yeah. They are in the Southern Division sectional tournament, so I believe the Southern Division plays at SEPA. There's a pop foul out of play, straight back. So.
And the Northern plays here, Rotary?
Yeah. Yep, the Northern Division will play here. We'll have all the action here from both locations. There's a swing and a miss by Hobbs as he chased that one.
Yeah, that'll even the count 2-2.
Yep. You have a little better angle than I do, Jim, on that scoreboard. See, it's like I have to keep ducking the head over to get it. There's a foul ball back into the screen. 400 feet in straight center field here at Rotary Field, 340 in right field. Tell you, if a guy hits one out of here, he earned it, especially with a wooden bat.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
Your best chance, though, is being a lefty and being able to pull that out at 335.
340?
Oh, well,
335 is the righty pulling it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're a righty, you're hitting that 340 oppo. That's a shot.
That's definitely a shot. It's a blast out there.
How about this nice walkway they got, too, in the back over there in right field, Riles?
Yep, there's a line drive right at the second baseman. That ball sort of curved towards him. And Josh Hobbs is out on an L4. I know, it's a nice walkway. You can see the people walking through all the way.
Yep, on their bikes.
There's a playground behind us over there. You know, beautiful atmosphere here in South Windsor. I wonder if Subway, if you hit the Subway sign to get a free sub or something. Got to come up with something. Why not, right?
Yeah, motivate those guys to hit that ball to the fence.
Yeah. It's like Bull Durham, where they used to have the bull go off and the smoke come out of its head. And,
It's ball 1.
1-0 now to the number 9 hitter for South Windsor, Will Bonazelli, who struck out his first time up.
Bull Durham, a classic baseball move.
Yes, absolutely. Crash Davis. Ball up high, 2-0. Kevin Costner playing the role of Crash Davis. I liked him in For the Love of the Game, though.
Yeah.
That movie, that was good. It's ball way inside. Now it's 3-0.
Riles, being one of the co-coaches and one of my mentors, one of my coaches, always had a great baseball movie list that he's like, you gotta watch these.
You gotta watch these lists. I know. I got players this year. I say to them, "Do you ever watch The Natural?" They tell me no. Here's ball 4, which I can't believe that a baseball player would not have seen.
Windsor,
big
Natural.
Bad
Dan
News Bears
Kruzek.
fan. The original.
The original Bad News fans,
Bears.
yes.
Yeah.
The players.
Yep.
They used to have their own Facebook pages, I think. Or back when it was MySpace, they all had their own MySpace pages, all the players' names. Stepping up now is the top of the order, Dan Kruzek, who's 2 for 2 and scored 2 runs. He's been one of the hitting stars this evening for the South Windsor team. Big lead at first base. And there he goes, and it's fouled. That was a hit and run. He had second base stolen.
Yeah, my thing with that movie was always that, you watch a baseball movie, the team always wins. It's always predictable. And the Bad News Bears, they don't win.
At the end.
And you think they're going to win. They make it to the championship, and they end up losing. And, that's what happens in baseball. Sometimes there's always a winner and there's always a loser. Someone's going to go home a loser.
Unfortunately for that movie, though, there are some lines in it that would not be allowed today.
Yeah.
There's no way they'd be allowed in a movie today.
No.
But the other
Different
movies I liked
times.
was the old movie about Lou Gehrig.
Yep.
You know, that was always a great one.
Iron Horse, right?
Yep. Even to this day, everybody talks about the Wally Pipp story. 1-1 now to Dan Kruzik. I even heard that on a YouTube video with the Patriots. He was talking. The head coach was talking to one of his players about the Wally Pipp story, as he was not in the game and his replacement had been doing very well, and it was Edelman who had replaced the receiver that went to Denver. I forgot his name, but sneaking off first base is Bonazelli. He wants to run, but he doesn't. And there's the ball down low. It's 2-1. Well, it's now 2-1, right? Yep. Coach Zimmerman giving a number of signs. Bonazelli at first. Look for him. I think he's going to go at some point.
Yeah, maybe protect the batter here. 2 outs.
Well, it's 2-1 though, so this is a great pitch to hit and run. Now, you don't want to hit and run with 2 outs. That's usually not something people want to do. The reason for that is you have to swing at the pitch no matter where it is, and with 2 outs, you're just begging for the 3rd out. And there's a ball outside. There's 3-1. 2-1's a great pitch. 2-0, sometimes you want to let the batter, give him that chance to drive a pitch, let him be selective instead of hit and running, and then he swings at a bad pitch. The runner goes, curved ball, but it's ball 4 anyway, so it doesn't matter. Second walk in a row issued by Ladasseur with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th.
So Kruzik still 2-2 with a walk.
Yeah, it brings up Jake Maine. Zach bunted his first time up, doubled and scored a run in the 3rd. And now the sun starts to become a problem for the fielders on the right side of the field. You can see even the base runner at first over there. Kruzik put his hand up near his eye to shade it. And there's a strike to Maine. Jake Maine. Left fielder already had a great play this evening for South Windsor. The runner at first, really, he's giving Ladasseur some fits over there. His time is called by the batter.
Yeah, if you're Ladasseur, you just need a ground ball here or a pop-up. Get out of this inning. You don't want to give up any more runs here.
Yeah, there's 2 outs. You really want to focus on the hitter a lot. But I tell you, Bonazelli's not letting him do that as he keeps hopping off second base, taking that attack mode. There's a ball in the dirt. Bonazelli's going to go. Here's the throw to third. A side arm. Do they get him on the back? Yes, they did. They're saying they tagged him on the back, as Craig Zimmerman now is asking for would he be able to take a look over to the home plate umpire. Well, they checked that, and I doubt they're going to change this call, because Dave Bindis, the second base ump, made the call, and he thought he must have got him on the back. How else would you call it? How else would you call him out? Unless it's clear to the home plate umpire that he didn't touch him and he's out. They weren't going to change that. I doubted that.
Yeah, I thought he was out there, Riles.
Yep. So for South Windsor here in the bottom of the 4th, after that little checking with the home plate umpire, no runs, no hits, no errors. Say there's only 1 runner left on base for South Windsor. They're 4th in the game. We're through 4 full innings here from Rotary Field in South Windsor. The score remains South Windsor 3 and Norwich 4. Stay tuned for more American Legion baseball action here on SportingNewsCT.com.
I never realized how much the American Legion did in our community until I was overseas and my family needed help. The Legion was there, taking care of things I couldn't, and they asked nothing in return. I guess it's because they know what I'm going through. They've been here before, and when I looked into it, I discovered that there was a way for me to continue to serve my fellow veterans and my community through the American Legion. That's why I joined.
The American Legion. We're a powerful force for the nation. We're patriots through and through. We believe in our flag and all that it stands for. Our Constitution, our Pledge of Allegiance, our way of life are all fundamental to maintaining our freedom and the standing that we have as the greatest country on earth. We promote and defend these values every day in communities across the nation. Go to legion.org to find out more about the American Legion's commitment of service to America.
America, meet Greg Anderson. Served 2 tours in Afghanistan, Bronze Star and Purple Heart recipient, and unemployed. The unemployment rate among transitioning service members is unacceptably high, much higher than the general population. Veterans are a proven commodity. They're mature, reliable, and hardworking, and they deserve a chance to get back to work after serving their country. Do you really want to honor a veteran? Hire one. Go to legion.org/honor veterans to find out how you can help.
Well, back here to the top of the 5th inning. An 0-1 count becomes an 0-2 count for Ryan DeSheffy, who grounded out to short his first time up. Well, we're in the 5th inning.
Yeah.
And it looks like we're going to have a pitcher warming up down the right field line. There's a foul ball into the screen. It looks like number 25 for Norwich.
Yeah, Ward really starting to settle in here, getting ahead in counts. He's 0-2 already on the batter.
Oh, for Norwich, 25 is not on the roster.
That ball was low.
Not on there. There's a low.
1-2.
1-2. Yep. Yeah, I don't see him on the website roster. Put it that way. But he might be. He's on the scoreboard.
Ooh, and
There's strike 3 called.
Curveball.
Yeah, the Sheffy goes down
Next
looking.
up for Norwich, number 3.
5th K of the game for Brady
Collins.
Ward, who's really been doing very well here today.
Yeah, that curveball has been magnificent today. That centrifugal force that we like to talk about.
The tight spin.
Yeah.
Yep. He's got that spin cutting through the air. Making it really have a lot of revolutions as it goes towards home. Zach Collins steps in. He grounded out to short. There's a strike. A lot of first pitch curveball strikes for Brady Ward. Norwich 1 run on only 2 hits, and there's 1 error. Curveball in there for a strike.
Again,
0-2. 0-2. For South Windsor, we had 3 runs on 4 hits. We had it as an error. Scoreboard shows no error. Curveball in the dirt. So it's 1-2. Trying to tempt him with that hard curveball that just hits the dirt. Yesterday was different. There was no dirt down there at Penders Field.
That turf.
Ball could bounce everywhere.
Perfect bounce for the guy that was catching yesterday. Today, a little difficult.
There's strike 3 called. 2 in a row. Looking 6th strikeout of the game for Brady Ward as he cruises along. Norwich got to get something going quick. They're just sort of walking up to the plate.
Next up, number 11, Will Boudreau.
Boudreau now grounded out to short, the designated hitter. There's a bloop over to first baseman's head. That's going to drop in for a hit. And it gets by the right fielder, but not far enough for Boudreau to advance. So that's the 4th hit now.
Number 1, Ryan King.
For Norwich, and they got a 2-out single.
That's a great hit by Will Bordeaux, turning over the lineup now to the top of the order for Norwich.
So we're all tied up with hits, but not with the one that counts. His lead is still at 3-1. There's the first pitch strike again.
King Cade looking and hit a single.
Scored a run, yep.
Scored a run.
That was when he got caught in that rundown and the first baseman dropped the ball. That's when we picked up that error there. Scoreboard changes to 1-1 apiece.
Ward nods off twice and then a timeout called at the plate. We're going to have a conference.
Time is
here.
called. Catcher. We're going to have an entire conference here as out goes. I think that's the pitching coach for, definitely not Craig Zimmerman, it's the pitching coach. I tell you, what's neat is here we are in July, 24th?
Yep.
And you got the coaching staff still wears the bat jackets, those light windbreakers. That's that kind of night. That's that kind of evening here from South Windsor.
Well, you either have to wear your uniform or one of those, correct, Riles?
Yeah. American Legion rules. Well, look at it this way. Baseball is the only sport, I think, in the world that the coach has to wear a uniform.
Yep.
There's no other sport where a coach that I know of, where a coach has to wear a uniform. Unless they're wearing one in curling or something. I don't know.
They were very late. It's very late.
I have
back
no
at
idea.
The high school games with the uniform.
Well, you have to wear a uniform to take the field. in high school, in Federation rules are you can be in the dugout without a uniform theoretically, but you cannot go on the field. Ward deals the first pitch, swing and a miss to King. King waved at that one.
Yeah, Ward ahead right now, 0-2. He's got King right where he wants him. Let's see what he does here.
I wonder what that conference was about.
Oh, that was just a deep breath. Give him a little rest. Tell him to get the batter.
So, ball outside. It's 1-2. You know, I remember at a clinic asking a coach once who was also a player in the major leagues, and he ended up being a minor league coach. I asked him once whether a coach had ever said anything to him as a hitter, as a pitcher, which mattered when he was on the mound. He said no. And I said, well, have you ever said anything to your batters that you can recall, that means your pitchers that made a difference? He said no. So it's like, you know, you just go out there and what do you do? I mean, I have my own style. 2 balls, 2 strikes now.
It's like you said the other day. You never know what these guys are thinking out there. And,
yeah, absolutely.
You could just.
I guess it's actually a full count.
And,
yep. Runner will be going now. As the count is full, Ward checks the runner. Bordeaux at first. There Bordeaux goes, and there's high fly to right field. Standing there, not being affected by the sun, is Charlie King, and he makes the easy catch. Well, for Norwich here in the top of the 5th inning, they had no runs on 1 hit, no errors. They've left 1 on base. That's the 3rd here this evening. We'll be back with the bottom of the 5th inning. They're stretching here in Rotary Field in South Windsor, Connecticut. We'll be right back.
I never realized how much the American Legion did in our community until I was overseas and my family needed help. The Legion was there, taking care of things I couldn't, and they asked nothing in return. I guess it's because they know what I'm going through. They've been here before. And when I looked into it, I discovered that there was a way for me to continue to serve my fellow veterans and my community through the American Legion. That's why I joined.
The American Legion. We're a powerful force for the nation. We're patriots through and through. We believe in our flag and all that it stands for. Our Constitution, our Pledge of Allegiance, our way of life are all fundamental to maintaining our freedom and the standing that we have as the greatest country on earth. We promote and defend these values every day in communities across the nation. Go to legion.org to find out more about the American Legion's commitment of service to America.
America, meet Greg Anderson, served 2 tours in Afghanistan, Bronze Star and Purple Heart recipient, and unemployed. The unemployment rate among transitioning service members is unacceptably high, much higher than the general population. Veterans are a proven commodity. They're mature, reliable, and hardworking, and they deserve a chance to get back to work after serving their country. Do you really want to honor a veteran? Hire one. Go to legion.org/honor veterans to find out how you can help.
Well, it's the bottom of the 5th here at Rotary Field with South Windsor holding on to that 3-1 lead. We're going to get that scoreboard field changed in a second there. Trying to also do these technical work with this amazing computer technology here. You know, Jim, this is programs that we have, and it's amazing that with a couple of pieces of computer equipment and a GoPro camera, we can bring this game to you live on the web across the world.
Yeah, you know, I told you on the way up, Riles, looking at the start of the game yesterday through our GoPro camera in Stratford, by the 11th inning, it looked like a totally different game.
Because of the lights, yeah.
And it was in the dark, and it was awesome.
Well, it's now 3-0 to the second hitter, the number 2 hitter in the lineup,
Lights
Jake Main.
Still not on here at Rotary Field, but
No, they don't need him yet. It's only, 7:36 right now about. And here's the 3-0 pitch. Lays it in there. It's 3-1.
That was that automatic strike that we like to talk about.
Yep. 3-1. There's a ground ball to second base. Fielded by Bonazelli over to first. I'm sorry, fielded by Penny.
Next up for South Windsor, number 12, Hunter Pasqualini.
Hunter Pasqualini comes up now with 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. Well, for Norwich, they have to get something going in the 6th to 7th. They have only 6 outs left as we start to count the outs. It's only a 7-inning game here in the American Legion tournament. Many years ago, it used to be 9 for all the tournament games. And then on hot days, they would actually change it over to 7 depending on the temperature. If it was like 95 degrees or something. Way inside that time to Pasqualini, and he ducks out of the way. And then they used to change it so all the games in the beginning were 7, and then the final rounds were 9.
You know, nowadays we need to save our pitchers' arms. You know, there's a lot of pitch count rules that there weren't those rules back in the day, and we got to keep our guys' arms healthy.
Well, there's a deep blast to right center. That could be a gapper, but reaching up and making a – nope, he didn't get it. Oh, he did get it. What a great play by that right fielder, Zach Collins.
Windsor, number 22,
I thought for sure when that ball was initially hit, Jim, that was going to be gap. And Collins, he ran over and caught it on the fly.
Yeah, that's what we like to call an extension play. He made that with one hand, and he just went out there and grabbed it.
Yeah, great play by the right fielder for Norwich. See if that sparks his team. That's Zach Collins out there to make that catch. And there's a pop-up out of play right side. Brady Ward steps in now. Brady got a double and an RBI back in the 3rd inning, got on an error in the 1st inning. South Windsor got 1 in the 1st, 2 in the 3rd. For their 3 runs, for Norwich, they got only 1 run in the 3rd inning. So with 2 outs now, as cruising along, it's Anthony Ladessier. He began the inning with 64 pitches. And on the flip side, Brady Ward has 71 pitches through 5 innings. Still has enough ammo, so to speak, to get done. Ground ball to the shortstop, Wolf. Wolf collects it, fires it over to first to make the play. Well, 3 up, 3 down here. South Windsor goes rather quietly here in the 5th inning. We'll be back with the top of the 6th inning. Score remaining, South Windsor 3 and Norwich 1.
I never realized how much the American Legion did in our community until I was overseas and my family needed help. The Legion was there, taking care of things I couldn't, and they asked nothing in return. I guess it's because they know what I'm going through. They've been here before, and when I looked into it, I discovered that there was a way for me to continue to serve my fellow veterans and my community through the American Legion. That's why I joined.
The American Legion, we're a powerful force for the nation. We're patriots through and through. We believe in our flag and all that it stands for. Our Constitution, our Pledge of Allegiance, our way of life are all fundamental to maintaining our freedom and the standing that we have as the greatest country on earth. We promote and defend these values every day in communities across the nation. Go to legion.org to find out more about the American Legion's commitment of service to America.
All right, back here at the top of the 6th inning, Norwich has to get something going, and their season's going to be over. Just changed that little scoreboard you can see there at the top. 3-1 in favor of South Windsor. They've got the hits on the scoreboard are tied at 4, but the one that
Now up
counts
for Norwich, number 6,
is the scoreboard
Ryan
with
Trudeau.
South Windsor leading 3-1 here. And that'll bring up Ryan Trudeau, number 2 hitter. He got an RBI single back in the 3rd inning.
Looking at what Ward has done, no freebies really, Riles. No walks, right?
Yeah.
No hit by pitches.
Right.
And,
Strike 1 and a lot of first pitch strikes.
And he's just been ahead the whole time. So if he keeps this up, he could finish this game in the under 105.
Yep. And he's got 6 strikeouts to his credit. There's strike 2 and another curveball. It's like Norwich doesn't want to swing at a curveball. They don't want to go to the opposite way with it, you know?
Yeah, you're going to have to a couple times through the lineup now.
Not overly powering, but Ward gets it done. There's a ground ball to second baseman. And taking the 2 hoppers, Bonizelli. And there's 1 up, 1 down here in the 6th.
Next up, number 8,
just
Riley
helps out as a
Burke.
pitcher. Your guys are all making great plays in the field. You know, they're not booting the ball and putting pressure on you either.
Well, should South Windsor go on to play Waterford tomorrow, they do have one pitcher. I know their pitcher, Mr. Ray, Jason Ray is eligible starting tomorrow. Pasqualini is actually eligible today, I believe. And there's a strike again. The curveball leading off to Riley Burke, who's lying to center and struck out.
Another first pitch curveball, and those
Yeah.
Norwich guys just look fooled.
There's another one that just misses, so it's 1-1.
Yeah, he wanted that one, Ward. He's like, I'm dealing right now.
Yeah. You can see the long pants down. His time is called. Looking at the fielders on the right side of the infield, shading their eyes a little bit. Now, why wouldn't you put the shades on if you're the first baseman, right? Sun's in your eyes. I guess it's the look, yeah. He'd rather use his hand to shade it, I guess. There's a ground ball to second baseman again. Bonizelli over to Hobbs. And there's 2 outs.
4-3-4-3.
Yep.
Next up, number 7, Becker.
I mean, you have the shades on your hat, right? I mean, when is he going to wear them?
Yeah, might as
I'm
well
sorry.
leave
I
the
hope it's not your
dugout.
son, right? That's what it is, right? Yeah. Right. And there's the pitch. The first pitch is fouled off by Becker Bordeaux. Struck out twice. He doesn't want to strike out again.
Well, if you remember on Sunday, Riles, we were up at Muzzy Field. It was cloudy up until maybe the 3rd or 4th inning.
Yeah.
And the sun came out, and there was a ball hit, and the center fielder actually, a kid met him in right center.
Handed
give
him a pair of
his-
shades.
Yeah, a pair of shades.
After he dropped one, yeah. High fly ball, a sky ball, way up there to the left fielder, Jake Maine, and he makes the catch. So 1, 2, 3 again for Norwich. We're moving on to the bottom of the 6th. Only 3 outs left for Norwich to get back in this. We'll stay tuned for more American Legion baseball action here at SportingNewsCT.com.
The American Legion. We're a powerful force for the nation. We're patriots through and through. We believe in our flag and all that it stands for. Our Constitution, our Pledge of Allegiance, our way of life are all fundamental to maintaining our freedom and the standing that we have as the greatest country on earth. We promote and defend these values every day in communities across the nation. Go to legion.org to find out more about the American Legion's commitment of service to America.
America, meet Greg Anderson, served 2 tours in Afghanistan, Bronze Star and Purple Heart recipient, and unemployed. The unemployment rate among transitioning service members is unacceptably high, much higher than the general population. Veterans are a proven commodity. They're mature, reliable, and hardworking, and they deserve a chance to get back to work after serving their country. Do you really want to honor a veteran? Hire one. Go to legion.org/honor veterans to find out how you can help.
The American Legion honors our newest generation of warriors and veterans. Please join us in supporting and recognizing their unique contributions and needs. Go to legion.org/honor veterans to find out more.
Well, back here at Rotary Field, score remains 3-1. We have a new pitcher on the mound for Norwich here in the bottom of the 6th, and that's going to be Adam Blaze. Comes on. So the book is closed on Anthony Ladassure. He gave up 4 hits, 3 strikeouts, 2 walks, a hit batter, and 3 total runs. The question is, wait a minute. The first one was not earned, and the other 2 were. So he gave up 2 earned runs.
Number 1, Jay Fournier.
Jay Fournier steps up now for South Windsor to face Blaze for the first time.
Yeah, Fournier grounded out to third and popped up to the third baseman. His 2 at-bats, he's 0 for 2.
You know, when I talk about American Legion baseball, Jim, and you know, and watching it through the years, and you see that it's the only tournament, their World Series, where they pay for everything. There's strike one. They literally fly everybody in. They pay for everything these players have to go through.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Sidearm pitch is ball 1. Counts even at 1. Yep. And then usually when you go into the Northeast Regional, you have to have your bags packed when you go to play the final 2 games, because you got to take off very quickly. So you have to bring enough clothes to not only play and stay in the tournament, but you have to bring the clothes that you'll need for Shelby in case you win. Yep. as they go right out from there. And there's a fastball just missed, so it's 2-1 now to Jay Fournier.
It's 2-2.
I'm sorry, 2-2. Check that. And the sidearm fastball misses, counts full. Norwich down to 3 outs. They're going to hang into this season. Looking ahead to the 7th, that's ball 4 to Fournier.
Next up for South Windsor, number 13,
Norwich will
Charlie King.
Blaze a little
yeah.
shooken up there, pretty upset. He didn't want to walk the first guy, first batter you see.
Yeah, next inning, though, Norwich will send up to the plate Aaron
Looks like
Penny,
we're gonna
Will
have a
Wolf, and Ryan
pinch runner
DeChevy.
here, Riles, number
Yep.
12.
Number 12 will pinch run in the American Legion.
He's the other 12.
Oh, that's, yeah, Colin Niffin. Probably a dual player, plays on maybe, yeah, the 17U as well. Junior Legion tournament, that's going on now too, isn't it? Yeah. Last year we did the Junior Legion finals up in Windsor Locks. They had the tournament up there last year. I guess they're looking at the numbers. That's why they want to see which one's which. We got a bunch of 12s. Saying who this is. 12 and 12. Well, there's nobody out, and there's a runner on first. Charlie Keene is due up the bat. Looks like he's going to step in the batter's box. Pop to second and fly to left. As the shadows start coming in across the field, as you can see on your viewing screen. The shade is really on the left side of the field, and right field, second base, first base still has the sun in there. A big lead at first base by the pinch runner Niffin. Somebody yelled back after the player was standing on the base. A little late. And the first pitch, he squares the bunt, and he takes a strike. Doesn't bunt. Coach Zimmerman goes through the signs now. Only gives a couple of signs, so wide base over there at first base. There's the bunt. It's popped up, and it's dropping into the grass. Will they let it roll? No, it's on the line. The runner is halfway between second and third. And the catcher thought he was looking at the umpire saying, it's not on the line.
That was one for Norwich and one for South Windsor.
Yeah, I know.
For South Windsor, number 4,
right there
Jack
on the foul
Waterman.
line. And,
I guess you'd have to give him a hit,
yeah, definitely.
right? Base hit on a bunt. So that would be
So
the
walk
5th hit of the game.
in a single.
Yeah. A bunt single, but it landed right on the line, and the catcher, that time DeChevy, was
Now
trying to see if
hitting
it would
number
roll
20,
foul.
Jason Ray.
And there was just enough of that chalk left. You know, you didn't have to make it harder up there. Looks like due up is Jack Waterman. Looks like they have a new batter.
Hitter,
This is
20.
Jason Ray to bat. Ray, as I said before, is eligible to pitch tomorrow, so he must be a pitcher they use, and they probably will use him, assuming that they win this game, but that can't be assumed, really.
You don't think they bunt here again, Riles, do you?
Sure. Why not? He takes strike one. Probably not, though. See, he only gave 2 signs before. I don't want to pick that up, but he only give that away. But there's a foul ball. Almost comes into the booth.
I had that.
Yeah.
What about that lady yesterday? She was like covering herself like this. So
Yeah, with her hands over her head. I know.
And it almost hit her. We were like, oh, man.
0-2 to Ray now.
No cover for us.
Way
yesterday.
inside. 1-2. Yeah, you always wonder about the sounds of baseball and the sayings that we have, and one of them is heads up, right? And the heads up is the ball's lining right towards you, right? I mean, you know, so inside, that's fouled off by Ray. And Ray sort of like hobbling a little bit as if he fouled it off his foot, right? You have your potential starting pitcher or some tomorrow, right? All you need is for him to get hurt.
Yeah.
I got to believe he's one of their top pitchers. He threw 91 pitches in one of the games, which is probably the Waterford game. They only lost by a run. You know, the other thing I've noticed, too, is how many relief pitchers have you seen, Jim, that now want to imitate Mariano Rivera's when he comes set, the way he comes set? They all want to imitate him now.
Yep, the Sandman.
Yeah, they all want to hit him with that double tap. And, you know, there's strike 3 called. Great pitch to the pinch hitter, Ray.
Next up for South Windsor, number 16, Josh Hobbs.
First strikeout of the game for Adam Blaze, 4th of South Windsor's batters. Here comes Josh Hobbs.
Yeah, Hobbs K'd and lined out to second in his 2 at-bats. He's 0 for 2.
Speaking of the other movies that besides The Natural, so then you have Major Leagues, right? Base hit to right field. Will they send him? No, they're going to hold him up. As there was a short hit into shallow right, so a ground ball
Now
really
up,
into right
number
field.
11, Will Bonizelli.
6th hit of the game now for South Windsor. They have the bases loaded and only 1 out, and up comes Will Bonizelli, who walked and struck out.
They're going to pinch run here, too.
Yep, another pinch runner. Number 1, who will be Drew Maybe.
Drew Maybe. Maybe that is Drew.
Yeah, I know. Some of these names, kids must grow up and they must take a lot of ribbing for different names, you know. Think about it. I mean, you just don't know. And now up is Bonizelli. Bases are loaded. Still going from the stretch as Blaze with 1 out. Fastball in there for a strike right at the knees. The infielders are at double play depth in the middle. They're up on the edge now. That's Ryan Burke at first, Becker, Bordeaux at third, up on the edge. Ball inside. Wolf and Penny are at short and second. Penny more leaning towards second base.
Yeah,
they expect the ball to be pulled by Bonizelli.
Usually defensively, you want your corners up. If it gets hit to them, you can make a
popped up. Is it playable? It's an infield fly rule, and both umpires signal for it. You don't even have to catch it.
Batters out. Sometimes, you know, the defense
Now
drops
up,
that on
number
purpose.
24,
Yeah, I know.
Runners aren't.
Kruzik.
That the runners don't necessarily know what to do. Some of them might try to go to the next base. But the difference is you have to tag the base runner out. It's not a force anywhere. And that's the mistake the defense sometimes makes. With 2 outs now, the infield will play back, and Dan Druzik, who is 2 for 2, has been on base all 3 times up, scored twice.
All the defenders move back to their defensive positions now. With 2 outs, they're protecting the field.
Yep.
Force it any back.
Norwich really cannot afford to give another insurance run. They cannot do it. Swinging and a foul tip. 1-1 now to Kruzik. He scored twice here this evening and also walked. Norwich trying to hang on. Fastball for a strike. It's 1-2 now. Looking at it all the way is Dan Kruzik.
It's never too late to settle down. Blaze here needs a strike to get out of this jam that he's in.
Yes.
Do not want to give South Windsor.
And here's his pitch. Swing and a miss. He gets out of it. Kruzik goes down swinging. So for South Windsor, they have no runs. There were 2 hits, no errors. They left 3 runners on base. That's 7 for the game for them now. We're going to the top of the 7th. Last call, so to speak, for Norwich. We'll be right back. Can Norwich score 2 to tie it, or will South Windsor move on to play Waterford tomorrow?
I never realized how much the American Legion did in our community until I was overseas and my family needed help. The Legion was there, taking care of things I couldn't, and they asked nothing in return. I guess it's because they know what I'm going through. They've been here before. And when I looked into it, I discovered that there was a way for me to continue to serve my fellow veterans and my community through the American Legion. That's why I joined.
The American Legion, we're a powerful force for the nation. We're patriots through and through. We believe in our flag and all that it stands for. Our Constitution, our Pledge of Allegiance, our way of life are all fundamental to maintaining our freedom and the standing that we have as the greatest country on earth. We promote and defend these values every day in communities across the nation. Go to legion.org to find out more about the American Legion's commitment of service to America.
Well, back at Rotary Field, we're in the top of the 7th inning. And a new pitcher is on the mound for South Windsor. In the name of Jay Fournier, he's the third baseman in the game. He moves to the mound, and moving from the mound to third base is Brady Ward. And the book then is closed on Brady Ward. He pitched well, 4 hits, 6 strikeouts, and more importantly, Jim, no walks, no hit batters.
Yeah, that was unbelievable, Riles. You know, not being able to give them anything on his end. You know, Norwich really had to work for all those hits.
You know, and this is one thing I like from the Norwich coach is he has a pitcher warming up or 2 players warming up for the next inning like they might go in. It's a signal to his team that, you know, this game ain't over.
It's not over.
Which you like to see. You know, why not? Get some guys ready.
First up for Norwich, number
just in
12,
case.
Aaron Penny.
Brings up Aaron Penny. Penny got an infield single back in the 2nd inning when he hit that ball that landed on the white line, and the catcher, the ball went camouflaged away, and the catcher just couldn't find it. And then he grounded out to short. Well, we have one team already determined to be in the Super Regional, which today is Hamden, as they defeated Washington in the IF game today down at Hamden High School. Washington forced the IF game, winning the first one 8-5 and losing the second one 4-1. There's a broken bat, bloop to center, and that's going to be a base hit. And the broken bat probably allowed that ball just to die over the diving jump of Jay Pasqualini. He just couldn't get it.
Next up, number 9, Will
So
Wolf.
Aaron Penny is aboard with a hit. That's the 5th hit of the game now for Norwich. And they got the leadoff hitter on. That brings up Will Wolf, who's popped to third and lined to left.
You know, Wolf here, he's a lefty, big hole on the right side. All you need to do is pull it with the first baseman holding the runner.
And Fournier now throws the fastball. A little bit of a tailspin going away for strike 1. That's where he wants to put it on the outside part of the plate.
The field is actually totally shaded at the moment.
Yep,
now.
it is. And the lights are just turned on. They're starting to warm up, so to speak. They call a balk. They call a balk on Jay Fournier, and that moves the runner, Penny, down to second base. But the most important person right now is the man at the plate. That's who you want to get out.
Well, that is the tying run.
Right.
Some
He's
guy
the tying
in the dugout
run
right now could be the winning run.
Yep, or the go-ahead run. Curveball inside. Puts the pressure now on Jay Fournier. As the tie-in run is at the plate in the name of Will Wolf. Another balk. They're saying he balked again. They're saying he balked again. Bindis is telling him he balked. That's the umpire, Dave Bindis, down at second base, calls another balk. So now he balks the runner to second, and he balks the runner to third. Hopefully, maybe he might want to switch to go windup now so he doesn't balk him home. He comes set, and he kicks and deals. See how this affects him, and it's a ball down low. This might bother him.
Yeah, he's definitely a little rattled.
Yeah. As the Norwich bench starts to get up, and they're getting some little life in them. Here in the 7th inning, they trail by only 2 as the lights are on now at Rotary Field. Fastball back to the pitcher. Holds the runner at first, throws it, lobs it to first, and he gets the first out. So Wolf grounds out to the pitcher, and there's 1 out.
Now up, number 14,
Brings up Ryan DeSheffy, the catcher for Norwich, who's grounded to short and struck out looking.
Yeah, how about Fournier, though? You know, getting a little upset there with 2 balks. Ball hit right back at him. He looked that guy back.
Yeah.
Did his job. And
then that lob to first scared me. You know, I don't always like to see a guy lob it. Swing and a miss on the first pitch curve. I like to see a guy just throw it normal over there.
Yeah.
Because then you end up lobbing over. You know, the thing that's nice about it, if you're a South Windsor player, is you got that huge Mr. Hobbs over there at first base. So you got a little bit of area that you can miss.
To throw.
Yeah. Curveball again, swing and miss, 0-2. Let's see if he goes back to it again. Looked like the Sheffy was just waving at that pitch. It's that toughest part of the night to hit in, that twilight where the lights really you don't get the benefit of the lights yet. Curveball again, swing and a miss. This one gets by the catcher. He grabs it, throws it to first for the second out. So a strikeout and a 2-3. First strikeout. That's
Now up,
seventh
number
strikeout
3,
of the game
Zach
for
Collins.
South Windsor pitchers, but the first for Mr. Fournier. And Norwich's season is down to 1 out.
Yeah, I saw that guy get to third with no outs, and I was thinking this might be the VAR and Riles extra inning tournament.
Yes, we're announcing games that fall into an extra innings. Yesterday we had one that went 11. We didn't get out of there for 4 hours. Lucky that Wendy's was still open. There's a foul ball on the right side.
That too, Riles.
Yeah, Zach Collins grounded to short and struck out.
The newly opened one at Seymour.
Yeah. Well, this game so far has been a lot shorter than that game, but it's been a good one as both teams are battling to stay alive. There's a ground ball foul into the South Windsor towards the dugout. And it's 0-2, so Norwich down to their last strike. And if I'm Fournier, I blast one right at his eyes, fastball up right, see if he chases it.
You got to have a good waste pitch here. You don't want to give him anything.
Well, he's got to be nervous. He knows he's got 1 strike left. You want to just pound it right in that high fastball strike zone. See if he chases. Curveball, did he get him? Yes, he did. They call him out, and the season ends for Norwich on a strikeout looking. And South Windsor has won the game by a score of 3-1. And I tell you, Fournier came out, Jim, here in the 7th inning and it looked like, things might change as the leadoff batter gets a hit, and then he gets balked over to second and third, and then Fournier recovers to get 2 strikeouts to end the game. So for Norwich, they got 1 run on 5 hits. There was 1 error. They left 3 on base. Well, I should say 4 on base, that last runner. For South Windsor, 3 runs on 6 hits. They only committed 1 error. They left 7 runners on base. So South Windsor will move on tomorrow to play Waterford at Waterford, and will have to beat them twice. The winning pitcher tonight will be Brady Ward. The loser, Anthony Ladassieur. Jim, it just seemed like South Windsor was the more aggressive team on the base paths at the plate here today.
Definitely, Riles. The 3rd inning with Jake Main with the double RBI and Brady Ward both putting those 2 doubles on the board really put the pressure on. There was a hit and run, and they jumped out early and kept that lead.
Yep, and they certainly did. Dran Krusik got 2 hits, scored 2 runs for South Windsor. Jake Main, as you said, the big double, scored a run. The double and an RBI for Brady Ward, and singles at the bottom of the order by Charlie Keene and Josh Hobbs. On the flip side for Norwich today, Ryan King got a single and scored a run, and the only RBI single was by Ryan Trudeau as Norwich's season comes to an end. And South Windsor plays alive. They survive and advance, Jimmy V, to play another day. And the number 1 pitcher, they're saying they're number 1 and 2 are going tomorrow. So South Windsor looks like they'll be ready, and they're going to battle Waterford for the championship in this pod, a chance to move on to the Super Regionals, and they're still alive to go for that coveted American Legion World Series. That'll do it here tonight from Rotary Field in South Windsor. It was a pleasure to be here, Jim. Great game as usual. And for all you listeners out there, stay tuned tomorrow as we're going to have some great games on tap on our plate, so to speak. And check out the American Legion website or SportingNewsCT.com for further information concerning where we'll be tomorrow. Hopefully we'll have 3 games. We're trying to get that triple header finally in there tomorrow with 3 different locations across the state. So for Jim Vardalis, I'm Steve Riley. Good night, everybody. The final score, South Windsor 3, Norwich 1.